Here's what happened, guys. I heard this line in an interview saying that deflation helps the average American, the consumer. And from there, diving into the research, one way that you can have less buying power, or less, how the dollar can have less buying power, is by increasing the money supply. And when you notice the big jump over the last few decades in that money supply, things start to not make sense. And this is where we got to get curious and ask questions, because I said it before here on the show that today a dollar is almost worth half of the value of a dollar back in the 2000s. And there is a lot of fear mongering and propaganda and psychological operations around deflation and how terrible it is. But then when you actually just take the time to do a quick search, you notice this era in the U.S. Called the deflation era. Started in 1870s and lasted for roughly 2 decades. And then even just looking up, there's terms like growth deflation, where the technological advances improve dramatically so that the cost of goods decrease. So then with more supply for more supply of the goods, the prices then decrease. And this is common sense. Like, it's not crazy, and yet at times you can get pushback of how scary deflation is. And for me, looking into the future with this movement of making America's future a small business renaissance, we absolutely can start to question things and start to understand how does our money supply increase so dramatically? Where is the oversight? And then, do we have the ability to audit, like you audit U.S. Treasury or Federal Reserve? And is our Congress holding these institutions accountable? And then with anything big, it's also realizing that it can become easily corrupted, taken advantage of, and abused. And we have to figure that out if that is happening. And in this moment of history, we're experiencing massive change. And with that massive change, we got to direct it and channel it towards a way that improves the quality of life of Americans and improves this country and continues to preserve what is amazing and great about this country. So welcome back to the show. Let's get into it. I want to set the groundwork here. I'm just going to go through a few. I'm going to share a few pages that you can also check out in preparation, again, with this Small Business First series. There's a lot of information here. You don't have to be an economist to understand some common sense here of, okay, if there is more of a supply, the cost could go down. And then if the demand, there's more demand than supply, the cost can go up. But then we get into all these crazy terms and all of this, what feels like intentional confusion for the general public, because a way that we can hold accountable the powerful, going back to his worldview, the powerful and the rest of us, is by being informed and putting pressure on the powerful and making sure that we're holding them accountable. Because again, this movement I go back to, this movement is about the people versus the Epstein class. And when it comes to elites, they're no smarter than us. And when we realize that, and just we have to understand the information, may need to take some time to do the research, but when we understand that, then it's really it's liberating to understand that and to realize, okay, we can take the time to do the research. So let me share with you my screen here. So again, some players to understand here is the Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve System, or simply the Fed, it was created 1913, and then going into, it's a desire for central control of the monetary system in order to alleviate financial crisis. So this is one player to keep in mind as we move forward in the series. Another one that I want to highlight for you goes back to, here we go. All right, the other one is the United States Department of the Treasury. So again, it's National Treasury and Financial Department of the federal government of the United States is one of the 15 current U.S. government departments. So this is currency circulation in the domestic fiscal system. And these are important players to understand in the overall money supply system are the two. And then the other, what I want to highlight is the overall money supply. So let me get that up for you so I can show that to you. Because again, as we get into this more, things just don't make sense. And it's really important for us to to take the time to be informed as small business owners, because America's future leaders are small business owners, and to be informed where the money's coming from. And you can take the time to do this. It is not crazy. It is actually common sense to take the time to figure this out and to make sure that we're holding accountable our institutions in this country. So here you go. This right here is a really important graph to check out. You can go to, again, the Federal Reserve Bank. This is the money supply. And we look at 2000. That, we'll start with, let's go January, 4 trillion, because it's in billions. So 4 trillion, all the way up to now we're looking at 2025, $22 trillion. Things don't make sense. We got to get curious, ask questions here, and make sure that there's accountability. We're going to get more into this, but the last one I want to highlight, and again, we're going to continue this laying down the groundwork here. Last one I want to highlight here is this section where it's growth deflation. So this is a term. Growth deflation is enduring decrease in the real cost of goods and services as a result of technological progress accompanied by competitive price cuts, resulting in an increase in aggregated demand. So again, there are some benefits here with deflation. It does not have to be something so scary and overwhelming. I'm going to get into it for future episodes to talk more about this era because I wanted to lay down the groundwork today. But we got to keep talking about this more. And as small business owners, got to be informed as to understanding our money supply, how this works for deflation, inflation, because it'll overall make us better overall help us with decision making for our business and our communities and overall our country. So I was excited to see you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.